welcome back to another episode on the Fashion Fables podcast. Today, I am welcoming digital creator Holly Mero. Holly, thanks for joining me today.
Thanks so much for having me.
So let's get started. Holly, if you could just begin by telling us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm a digital creator, but I also am a fashion designer and a personal trainer. So I work 3 different jobs. My full-time job is a designer. And then on the side, I'm a digital creator and content creator, as well as a personal trainer.
Wow, love that. What inspires you when creating content and how does your feed reflect this?
So I actually went to art school and I am an artist. So in everything that I create it through art. And for me, every single day that could be different. I could wake up and be in a bad mood or a sad mood. And that's how I create my content in a different way, depending on my mood when I wake up.
Okay, that's so interesting.
Yeah, it can be great. It can be hard, but I love to reflect what I'm going through from every single time. So every time I create my content, I usually do it through that. Now I'll go through other people's stuff on Instagram. I love to get inspiration on Pinterest, just anything, nature, things like that.
Just like whatever you're feeling and whatever makes you.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you believe the most important thing to be is as a content creator and influencer?
I think my number one thing is to be genuine and relatable to people. I find myself that I'm a very silly person and I am very real in what I do. And when I first started, I was a little afraid to show that. And as soon as I started showing that, I started seeing how many people could relate to me and how many people had similarities to me. So I never want to lose that in anything I create or anything I do. So that's one of my most important things, to always be sharing something that someone can relate to or that someone would want to do that would be realistic.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like on social media, there are so many like influencers, and I feel like the most important thing, because like you don't want to just kind of be in the mix with everyone, you kind of want to stand out in something like unique to you. So
Mm-hmm.
it is really important to kind of like just follow like your path and try not to kind of compare yourself to like the other content people are posting, because like you want to kind of stand out and you want to engage your audience in ways that not everyone else does. So I can relate that to my content on my podcast too, because I more kind of just make content like with whatever I feel is like appealing, not so much like, I don't know, like comparing it to like other platforms.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And that can be hard to like get mixed into. You can start looking at the numbers. You can start looking at what everybody else is doing, or, if somebody's doing a bunch of collabs, a bunch of this, and you just focus on all that. And it turns into something so negative. And the whole point of why I started it was because I love it. And I love sharing things with people. I love creating, and I want to be a positive influence to younger women. I want to make it count, make it for a reason. So I don't want to just be putting anything out there. Everything I put out there, I put thought into, and it's a long process of why I put out there or what I'm sharing so that I can make a difference. Because at the end of the day, that's my end goal. I would love to change the world. And if I post something that, changes your day and it's one person and they reach out to me, it makes everything worth it.
Awesome. What is your personal fashion style, and what are some unique ways you like to mix and match your items?
I always tell people there's like no in between with me. I'm either like a full-on boy or the girliest girl ever. And I've kind of started like crossing them over. So I'll do, like the super baggy and a crop top or something. But I also am a personal trainer, so I love boy clothes. I love the Nike sets, the things like this. And I'll go into the gym with my hood on, my hat on, my mask, and I'm just like, yeah, people won't know I'm a girl. And then I'll go out at night, a little 12th drive dress or something, and all done up, and they're like, Holly, like, who are you? And there's just no in between with me.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Well, at least like you can recognize that. And
yeah,
but like
it's fun.
Yeah, totally. I feel like you don't always have to be so dressed up. You know what I mean? Like not every occasion needs to be so fancy. So I personally like also like just like being casual once in a while, because it just feels good and whatever.
Oh yeah. And with everything going on in the world, casual is back, and it's fun because now with things opening up again and just like wanting to still be comfy and having all these cute comfy clothes but wanting a way to dress them up, I'm seeing a lot of like blazers and sweatpants and then adding heel, and I love it. I think it's so cute, it's so fun, and I would go to work like that. So I think everything is kind of like crossing over right now.
Totally. So
Yeah.
anything you would like to touch on like regarding mental health and how to remove just external opinions from your everyday life?
Yeah, so that's another thing that I'm really big on. I'm really a really big advocate for mental health, and I love to share all the topics that nobody really wants to talk about. Just because the more my platform grows, the more I want it to be, there for a reason, and I want to be there to help people and just be that voice for people that are struggling, no matter what they're going through. So I love that, and I think that for everybody, even that doesn't have a platform or just their day-to-day life, they deal with these opinions from people, and you just have to take it one day at a time. And that's why I tell myself every single day, just one day at a time, and not letting anybody else's opinions get in the way. Still doing what I'm doing, no matter what, no matter what I'm seeing, no matter what I'm hearing, not looking at the numbers, not changing my schedule because I'm having a bad morning or things like that. I like to schedule everything out and try and stick to a strict schedule so that I can get everything done that I'm getting. And yeah.
For sure. Definitely. I think it's hard sometimes to kind of block out those external opinions
Oh my
because
goodness.
I don't know, especially on social media, there are so many people you feel like that are like watching, especially
Mm-hmm.
as like your platform starts like to grow and stuff, and you feel like you have to kind of live up to this like, I don't know, standard or expectation based on the opinions of others. But honestly, like when you like really think about it, it's just more important about if you love what you're doing and like if it makes you happy, then I feel like nothing else should matter.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And I also feel like everybody struggles, and everybody likes to show the good part of them on social media, and
yeah,
that's great. I love seeing people go on these beautiful vacations, and I love seeing my girlfriends get engaged, and I love all these fun things. But I also know that everybody has their bad days, and I also know that me personally, I've gone through some pretty rough days, and I'm not afraid to share that with people. And the more I started sharing that with people, and the more I started spreading awareness for things, the more people reached out to me, and the stories I heard, and the of like just how happy they were that I was putting this out there for them, or that this gave them, the motivation to do this. They really needed to hear this, or just starting conversations for tough topics. And I think that's what it's all about. I think that's what it needs to be all about.
for sure, definitely. I feel like no one's life is perfect, even if their social media kind of presents that. Everyone is human, and so there's struggles in everyone's lives, whether they post about it or not. So, and I think that's another way that you can kind of compare yourself is how people like post that they have like the most glamorous life, and but like in reality, like it's not all always like that. So I think just kind of staying on your path and just
Absolutely.
living your life, your personal life.
I don't think no matter whether my platform stays at the number it is now or it goes off the charts, I don't think I'll ever lose that, and I don't think I'll ever want to. So
Awesome.
yeah.
So what are the best ways to be yourself and grow as the healthiest version of you? This kind of goes along with our previous
Yeah.
conversation.
Okay. So I think that every single day you have to do something for yourself. And by that, I mean, the first thing you do in the morning, for instance, for me, is like I get up and I work out. And then I start my morning with either a journal or a little doodle or just reading something. Because for me, like that just it kind of sets the tone for my day. And then if I don't do that for myself by the end of the day, after my work day, working all these separate jobs, and it's 7 o'clock, and then I don't get to do anything for myself, and I'm too tired to go to the gym, and I'm too tired to draw or do these things. So the tone is kind of set differently for the day. And I think that's something that people don't do, and they don't realize how important it is, that every single day you should be focusing on doing something for yourself, doing what you love. Then to contradict that, I also think you should be doing something for somebody else every single day. Whether it's you're on the Starbucks line and you pay for the person's coffee behind you, you don't always have to do that. You don't have to buy somebody something, or you're holding the door for someone, you're complimenting on somebody. I always love to do that, especially with other women. I'll be like, I love your hair, I love your outfit, just because I know how good it makes me feel. And
Yeah.
just seeing reaction from somebody else, it makes me feel good. It makes me feel like fulfilled as a person. So I think every single day, those two things are something that everybody should strive for.
I love that. I think it's important to give back. And so I definitely agree because I feel like, I don't know, there's not enough kindness in this world. And I always try to kind of exude the most positive like attitude and kind of just be light in other people's lives. Because I feel like sometimes, especially with like the pandemic, it can be really easy to just feel down and kind of just negative. But I feel
Gosh,
like being positive and kind of like you never know can just like make someone smile, and I think that's like so important. And
yeah,
I just like love kind of just like being kind to others. And also think it's important to kind of like to do like some self-care because life can be stressful, and it's always nice to kind of just find that time to just like relax and like spend time with yourself and kind of just focus on your feelings and stuff. I think that's a really good way to like take care of yourself
yeah.
too.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. It's an amazing way. And I love what you said. Like, you never know what somebody else is going through. You never know, like, they could have had the worst morning. And I've had that happen to me where somebody had the worst morning, and I bought their coffee behind me, and he pulled up next to me, and we were both at the same red light, and I rolled down my window, and he was like just telling me like thank you so much. I had the worst morning, like blah blah blah. And it like almost brought me to tears, just because sometimes I think it's a curse to be a good person, because you feel so much and you want to do so much good, and you see the bad and whatever. And I've learned that it is a blessing, and that there needs to be more people like that. And you just need to continue to be the good, and like what you said, be the light, because we need more of that.
Yes, definitely. And as a personal trainer, what are some ways you help your clients, and what do you hope to achieve from this business?
Oh my gosh. So I've just recently started training within the past 2 years. And I started off doing it. I started off just training with a personal trainer myself. And I wanted to compete, and I wanted to do so much with it. And then I just realized how much my life changed from it. And being how I am, and like so, full of emotion and wanting to help people, I was like, I need to get certified. I need to do this. And I love training people, whether it's my friends, my mom, a stranger, an athlete. Um, I get so fulfilled from, the text messages I get that are just like, it's so hard. It's so hard. And I'm struggling and just dealing with these people, because a lot of it is mental. A lot of people can handle and do a lot more than they say they can, but they need to be held accountable, and they need that person to push them. So I'm that person for them. And I love being that person for people and seeing the progress mentally and physically. And then getting those messages, that they won't eventually need me anymore. And that's what I want. I don't want them to need me anymore. I want go there and teach somebody else and be doing what they're doing and be confident and proud. And that's the end goal.
That's awesome. I think it's just like amazing how you're busy with your content on your Instagram and stuff, but you're still finding other ways to kind of help others. And it's something that you're passionate about. And so you can kind of inspire others to keep working hard and to like kind of never give up on their goals. Because sometimes like working out and like training can be like strenuous, and I don't
Yeah.
know, it just takes like a lot of hard work, and not everyone is willing to kind of go to that extent. And so for someone who's like passionate and is willing to help others, I think that's awesome, and there needs to be more
Thank
people.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. I love it. And don't get me wrong, like I'm sitting here and saying all these, things that I do, but I have my days, and it's so busy and crazy, but everybody does, and you just have to keep going forward. And you're in college, and you have all these things that you want to do, and potentially I want someone like you to look at me and me help you, and me, you look at what I'm doing or the things that I'm saying or putting out there, and you wanted to do the same, because I want to influence you, and I want to do that in a positive way.
Yeah, definitely you will.
Good.
And finally, what are some ways to just kind of get in contact with you and just like stay in touch?
Yeah. You can I always say this. Anybody can always DM me. I might not get back to you right away, but I will get back to you. And you can absolutely DM me with anything, whether it's just to talk about fashion or, talking about mental health or wanting to just start a discussion, training, anything like that. Again, I have my Instagram. That's probably the best way for people to come at me. It's at Holly Ann Mero. And on that, I have my email and I have my DMs on there. So both of those are great ways to get in contact with me. And don't be shy.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Holly.
Of course. Thank you for having me. It was so good to talk.